You are welcome to my channel. Today I'll be addressing how to reduce stress. By definition, you are said to be stressed when you are being overpowered by environmental factors beyond your own capability. Everyone will be subjected to stress in one way or the other, but depends on how you respond, and that will determine the next line of event or events. Some are stressed over a very little cause. Still, by way of definition, some are calm even in the face of stress. Then we begin to think, is there genetic or innate factors here? Yeah, we cannot overlook that. More pronounced among those with underlying conditions and family history, meaning more people that are stressed, they are stressed because there are some underlying medical conditions or because they are genetically predisposed. What are the effects of your actions or the way you handle stress on your health? Remember, stress is a sister to panic attack. Stress is a brother to anxiety and a cousin to post-traumatic stress disorder. And somebody will ask me, how did you make that comparison? Of course, panic attack, generalized anxiety disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, they will end up in similar way, like someone that is just undergoing stress. The brain is involved. The brain is aware that something is happening in our environment, and the brain is dictating what to do. So the brain and adrenal gland will be involved mostly. That is not to rule out the involvement of other glands in the system. So we will be dealing with hypothalamic, pituitary, adrenal axis the most. Then we will also be dealing with hypothalamic, pituitary, thyroid axis, and of course hypothalamic, pituitary, gonadal axis. Why? Why would the brain be involved, and why is it important to know what's going to happen? Once you are found in a stressful environment, adrenaline, by so many other doctors in other parts of the world, epinephrine in North America will be released into the circulatory system. Why? You are frightened and preparing for either a fight, you want to fight it off, or a flight, you want to get out of the environment, or just get out of the impulse or stimulus. There will be other hormones that will be involved. Prolactin will be involved, and when prolactin is high, forget it. There will be infertility because there will be negative feedback to the release of estrogen, progesterone, and the rest. Cortisol will rise. Stress hormones, cortisol will rise. And ask people with diabetes, they'll tell you the blood glucose will rise. Vasopressin will come up. The BP is high, the heart rate is high because you want to fight or you want to run away. You are frightened. Catecholamines will do the same. BP up, heart rate up. Gonadotropins will work in such a way that, no, this is not the right time to release egg. So the woman will be menstruating without the release of egg, and we'll call that anovulatory menses. In men, they'll be battling with low sperm count or frank impotency. Thyroid hormones are not left untouched. Remember I said hypothalamic pituitary thyroid axis will also be affected, right? There might be hypothyroidism with associated, gamut of signs and symptoms. Growth hormones, the individual could be having inhibition and then become dwarf. Dwarfism can occur. As a matter of fact, if you take the affected person out of the environment, they can start growing more. And there might be drop in insulin. When there's drop in insulin with high level of cortisol, you understand that. In fact, the diabetes that has not led that woman or man to the emergency room may then be the one that will lead to coma right now, and he or she will be admitted in the emergency room. There will be a lot of things that will change in our body when those hormones are in action. Right, like I've said earlier, you want to fight, you want to run away, then because you need to meet these, your heart rate will increase because you need more glucose to the muscle to be able to run. You need more energy to be able to think and wake up overnight and think and ruminating on it. The blood pressure will rise because as the demand, is necessarily increasing, then the heart must respond appropriately. More glucose into the muscle, because where are you going to get the ATP, okay? Sweating profusely, diaphoresis. Associated changes will be anger. Why this is happening to me, around me? Because we are stressed up, right? Just, traffic jam, somebody, driving erratically, then everything is up there. Anxiety. When am I going to get out of this right now and be on my own and be free and get work or do this or do that? More energy, That is why some will have road rage and then do anything. The energy will just be there. Somebody is jumping the fence when the snake is running, all sorts of things. You become restless. There's no need to sleep. Oh, you need to see anxious people. You need to see somebody really under stress. They will not, even if you give them anything to sleep, they will tell you, I don't need it. Constantly thinking and strategizing. About what? About how to get out of the predicament, quote unquote. Easily swinging emotions. Down a little bit, up again, a few minutes after. All organs are stressed. Let me emphasize that. When you are handling your stressful situations in such a way that you are not calm, all organs will be stressed out. Remember, the adrenal gland is working, the thyroid gland is working, the gonada is affected, the heart is beating so fast, the respiratory system is responding appropriately, the muscles are in action, the brain is not resting, you are not requiring more sleep, everything is up there. But more on adrenal gland. You can have headache. Worsening of diabetes mellitus internet to say because more gluconeogenesis will have to occur to meet up with the requirement due to extra tension given to the entire body. Can you see what you're doing to your body when you allow that stress to overpower you? You can become dizzy. Why will you become dizzy? You can have fast heart rate, arrhythmia. When you have arrhythmia, the heart is not having enough time to fill completely and pump enough blood. So you feel dizzy. Of course, from high blood pressure and hyperglycemia. Your immunity could become impaired. Note this. When you pass through so much stress, if you have boils, it will increase in size, or you even develop new ones. You can have a lot of rashes because you are stressed out. To those who have acne, oh man, it's easily. your friends will notice, you yourself will notice that it's getting worse just because you're stressed. For example, medical students preparing for medical exams. Now, see, everything is on the increase. And if everyone at that time, there'll be poor wound healing. Of course, we all know insomnia. Won't be able to sleep, become confused. Some may lose their job because of too much errors. Example, medical doctors, accountants, no? The entire life job will suffer a lot, like medicine, where you can afford to make mistakes and prescribe international unit, maybe 10 international units of insulin, and then you write 10 milligrams of insulin. Patient will die right there. Pilots, you know the button to press, right? But because you're anxious, you are nervous, you are stressed out, press another one instead of the plane to go up to the earth, nose diving in front of you, and everybody is dead. Sailors, drivers, accountants, instead of 100 dollars, you have written $100,000. Account is drained. Can't sleep. Disrupted sleep-wake cycle. Still unassociated changes will be worsening of hypertension because of those hormones that will come up. Okay, cortisol, epinephrine, vasopressin will all be up. Increased heart rate because of the same reason, and the heart is, pumping more and pumping more quickly because there's more need for both oxygen delivery and glucose, to the muscles. And of course, there might be nausea and vomiting, and sometimes there might be associated diarrhea. There might be repeated stomach ache. Repeated stomach ache. Actually, I know someone who will always stress herself out, and the first presentation will be stomach ache all the time. If you're asthmatic or you have COPD, you can worsen the situation for yourself. Is there any impending doom when you are stressed out and you are not handling it well? Of course. You might become suicidal, having suicidal ideation, attempted suicide, and some will actually commit frank suicide. Can become depressed. If you are prone to heart attack, you can have heart attack. Or diabetes mellitus will become worse. If you are pregnant and you are stressed and you're not handling well, you can lose that pregnancy, particularly the early part of the pregnancy, the first trimester. So pregnancy loss is very possible. And if you are not handling your stress properly, there may be infertility. Remember I said earlier, ladies will have anovulatory menses. The guy will have low sperm count or impotency. So how would the two of you produce a child under that situation? So you better handle your stress properly so that you can have, your own offspring. Insomnia with possible excessive medication use. Remember Michael Jackson, right? Insomnia led to drug seeking, hired a doctor to do that for him. Propofol was used. Now is no more with us from insomnia. When it comes to direct effects, females will have irregular menses. As a matter of fact, anovulatory menses, because one sign of anovulatory menses is the irregularity. And with that, there will be infertility. Besides the spouse that could have impotency, if they are both involved in this. And I've said just a while ago there will be pregnancy loss, particularly in the first trimester. There may be relationship problems at work or at home. And if a female should be deterred with migraine, headache, there will be more attacks. of migraine. Males will be affected having erectile dysfunction, low sperm count. Of course, that will lead to infertility, relationship problems, and if they are retired with migraine headache, it will be on the rise. What are the possible interventions that you can embark upon? Know one thing. This is all about you, okay? It would be nice if you can list all the conditions that could be stressful to you. List all of them. Then work on how to avoid each of them. If it is job burnout, then think about approaching your union if you have one. Workers' compensation board if you have one. Talk to your supervisor. Talk to your family physician. Social workers could be helpful. Now have a meaningful conversation with your spouse and family members and some helpful friends around you. Don't keep these stressful conditions to yourself. Seek help, please. Remember all those things that I've listed that you could run into. Contact a psychotherapist or psychiatrist, your family physician, family and friends, your spiritualist. Some will meet their religious body leaders, and of course, counselors. If you are still in school, seek counsel from your school counselors, or as the case might be. Sports events will help. Join one or just be a spectator and enjoy the game. Play music, ones you like, particularly the one you could sing along with. Exercise. Have social gathering. Attend comedy shows. Laugh. Shove all those stressful environments away from your brain. More time to sleep. Create it, please. Move away from the stimulus. That will help you. There could be death trap with stress, and that could be drugs, street drugs. So if you are doing street drugs before getting into a stressful situation, then your situation will be worse. Also, there could be death trap here when you have underlying psych or social issues like anxiety, obesity, hyperthyroidism, hypertension, and diabetes mellitus. If you have all these prior to the time you are exposed to a stressful condition, that could be the factor of factors that make it worse in you. Could be death trap when you have serious stress associated with panic attack in you, or you are an individual with suicidal ideation before, now subjected to a very stressful environment, or someone with post-traumatic stress disorder, someone with depression, or you are living in a very hostile environment. For example, marital disharmony. Now, you're not happy before, it's always hot at home now, another stress upon that, that could be the death trap. Okay, the worst outcome could be suicide. You can kill yourself or kill someone else, that is homicide. And you don't want to get to that, right? So seek help quickly and drop what should be dropped. With that, I've come to the end of this very presentation as per how to manage or reduce the stress around you. Because if you don't do that, it can end your life. Please seek help on time. Thanks for listening. Remember to share this presentation. Remember to subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it.